Okay, guys, hello. I'm going to go ahead and go over these sample questions for the TSI, and this is the arithmetic portion. Hopefully, it is easy to understand so that you can do good in this section for your test. Okay, so for the first one, it says, which of the following fractions is equals to 0.06? Remember, you have your tenths, and then you have your hundreds. So then what you would do, you would grab the 6 over 100. Another thing you can do is think of it as a percent. And if it's 6% is always over 100. So that one's going to be your answer right there. So first one is tenths, second one is hundreds. So 6 over 100. All right, so then the second one, it says 36 members. If the member each 12 items, each member is multiplied. And then you would have 36 times 12. We go ahead and multiply. I like to use the FOIL method here to multiply. This is 12. Carry the 1. And then you have inner and outer. That's 6 and 6. That's 12. Plus the 1, that's 13. Carry the 1 again. And then 3 times 1, that's 3. Plus the 1, that's 4. So before 32. You want to do this, that is perfectly fine. You can multiply like that. Just find it a lot easier to multiply sideways when it comes to 2-digit numbers. All right, this one, whenever you have 110, you have to make them equal. What you can do with this is whenever you have factors of 10, which is at 100, so I'm going to go ahead and add the 0 here and add a 0 there. And I'm going to go ahead and add at the top part. So it's 40 plus 3, that's 43 over 100. And you can always just add zeros when it comes to those factors of 10. So that one will be A. Number 2, it says, conference planner has put together 280 binders for attendees, another 31, another, that's a plus. How many total? That's another plus, so be 280 plus 31, and that's a simple addition problem. 1, 11, carry the 1, 2, 3. So be 3, 11. Go ahead and circle that answer right there. You can also use process elimination. It's not 249 because lower. It's not 211, and 590 is way too big. Number 5, it says 150 cans of popcorn that weekend, 72 cans were sold. What percent? Percent is always divide. 72 over 150. Now, when it comes to this, so what I like to think when you're talking about percent, 150 divided by 2 is half, which is 50%. So 150 divided by 2, you should know that $1.50 divided by 2 is 75 cents. Now 75 is very close to 72. So what you want to do there is you must say 72 is close to 50%. The only one close to 50% is C. So it's kind of a little bit of logic there so that you don't actually have to do the division of this thing. Okay, number 6. What I like to do this is eliminate. It says what number has the greatest value or which one is the biggest number. Right here, this one is already smaller than this one, so I'm going to cross that one out. Whenever your number on top is smaller than your number in the bottom, that means that this fraction is less than 1. So that one is also out. So really we just have 8 over 3 and 2.28. So now we're going to say how many 3s go into 8? And that's 2. 2 times 3 is 6. You have 2 left over. So that's 2/3. Remember that 1/3 is a 0.3333. So 2/3 is 0.6666. So really this is 2.6666. And a little bit of logic there too as well. and you have 2.28. And this one is bigger, which is that one, which is going to be 8/3. Okay, that is for number 6. Now let's go ahead and do number 7. If Manuel deposits 25% of 130, so 25% always, whenever you see 25, think of it as 1/4. So this would be 130 divided by 4, which is going to be 3, 2, 50, 3250, and that's going to be that. Okay, keep going. This says, what is 1582 and 761? You can start eliminating answers with this. Whenever you add, it has to be bigger than 1582. And the only one bigger than 1582 is D. And you can actually do the addition of this, but I just recommend you to kind of use your logic there. Okay, number 9. Number 9, you're gonna do how many eggs? It says Wyoming is making cookies. Each batch of cookies uses 3 eggs. So then what you're gonna do there is you're gonna pretty much divide 20 divided by 3. You're not gonna think about the remainder. No remainder, don't worry about it, don't worry. Only about the batch, about the remainder. So 3 times 6 is 18. You have 2 eggs left, but it's not enough to make another batch. So then your answer is 6. And that's pretty much it there. And you can also do 3 times 3, that's 9. 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times 7 is 21. And 3 times 17 is way too big. So the one that is closer is 18 without going over. You cannot go over because then you won't have enough for that batch. So 385 point. Remember when you're adding these, you have to align your decimals. 7 plus 4 is 11, carry the 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and you have 3.971. Another thing you can do is you say 3, you have no other number here, no other number here, so that one's automatically out. And then you can just worry about looking for the one that actually matches. But remember, for these, you have to align your decimals for sure. Sorry, there's somebody with a cart outside, kind of noisy. All right, this one is 8 divided by 25. Remember what I told you, 25 is 1/4. When you're dividing it, instead of dividing it, you multiply by 25, by 4, sorry. Don't worry about the 25, and that's 32. The answer is B. Number 12. Every time you have that 25, it's either dividing by 4 or multiplying by 4. And you always do the opposite. This is 1/4, so you divide by 4. This is dividing by 25, so you do the opposite, which is multiply by 4. All right, this one is 599 divided by 9. And the only thing I can tell you here, guys, is you need to know your multiplication tables, and you need to take it a little bit at a time. Don't try to rush through this thing. So 9 times 6 is 54. You have 5, 9 left. So 6 again, 54. You have 50 left. Don't forget that. So whenever you add that 0, remember to add a decimal. But they're looking for the remainder, so we're not going to actually know the decimal. We want to see how much we have left. So how many 9 is going to 50? And actually, you can stop here because all we want is a remainder, and the remainder is 5. You don't add that 0 at the end. Number 13. says a machine is currently at this rate. It changes to this rate by how much? By how much is subtract. So it'll be 5.921. That goes in the bottom. 6.08 that goes in the top. And then you just to subtract 8 minus 1 is 7. 8 minus 2 is 6. And this is what I like to do here, guys, so that you don't have to worry about borrowing. 60 minus 59 is 1. Don't forget to align your decimals. So then your answer is A. Align your decimals correctly and you'll be fine. But you can just say 60 minus 59. All right, for this one, the percent, 0.75%, to change it to decimal, move the decimal to the left. So this is now the decimal, 0.0075, 0.075. And then this is 3/4, 3/4. If you say it like that, 3/4, you know that it's 75 cents. So now you have 0.0075, 0.075, and 0.75 in that exact order. So then your answer would be A here. Number 15, 284. I like to do these since we have multiple choice. This is close to 3. This is close to 4. 3 times 4 is 12. So then that one's out, this one's out, that one's out. The closest one, of course, is that one. We're going to round down because of the fact that we rounded these up. Okay. So then this is going to be rounded to the nearest hundred. So 0.8637. This is our tens. This is our hundreds. And we're going to stop there. So your answer is 86. You look at the 3 is less than 5. So therefore it stays as a 6. Stop at the 6. 60% of what number is equal to 30? 60% of what equals 30? So what you want to do here is multiply. So 60%, remember, is 0.60. 0.60 times 0.5 is 30, but you have 3 decimals. So you actually have 1, 2, 3 decimals. So that's actually 0.030, which is very small. So that one's out. And 6 times 2 is 12. So no. 6 times 18 is, we can do that math, but I'm just going to go straight to this one. 6 times 5 is 30. The only one that's a little bit tricky is this one. But remember that if it's 60% of 0.5, it's going to be very small. Okay. Okay. So it's actually I messed up here, guys. It's 0.30, right? But still, it's going to be very small. Okay. So then this one's going to be 4/3 times, this is a keep, change, flip deal here. So you keep this one, you change this one to times, and you flip this one to 6. And what I like to do here, whenever you have diagonals that can simplify, you can simplify the diagonals, which is just 2. 4 times 2 is 8. Now, if you don't want to do that, that is fine. You can multiply the top ones, which is 24/3, which gives you the same thing. Okay. And 8 is between 7 and 9. So that's going to be that one. We're almost done here. It says which of the inequalities is true. And for these, I like to do cross multiplication. Keep in mind with cross multiplication, put the number on top. Do not put it in the bottom because then it's going to mess your sign. It's going to flip it. So I'm going to multiply. That's 21. I'm going to multiply. That's 20. 21 is not less than 20. So that one is out. This one is 12, and this one is 15. 12 is not greater than 15, so that one is out. This one is 50, this one's 48. 50 is greater than 48. And the last one, 36 and 10. 36 is not less than 10, so that one's out. So the only choice you have is that one. Remember what I said though, for the cross multiplication, always put the number on the top, because if you put it in the bottom, it won't work out. All right, so number 20 says 1/4. Carol works 1/4 of the days at the bookstore. And 1/14, she doesn't work. So this one, the 1/4 is for the bookstore. And for this one is she doesn't work. And then it says, on the remaining days, how many days did Carol work at the restaurant? So really we're supposed to subtract the 1/4 of this and the 1/4 of to 14th of that. So since it's just 1/4, and we can just divide. So 28 times 1/4 is 28 divided by 4. That's 7 days at the bookstore. And then we're going to do the ones that she didn't work. So 28 times 1/14 and 28/14, that's 2 days. 14 times 2 is 28, by the way. And then this is she doesn't work, no work. So it says on the remaining days, Carol worked at the restaurant. How many days Carol worked at the restaurant? So she already worked 7 at the bookstore, and she already had 2 days off. So say 28 minus 7 plus 2, that's 9, and that is 19. 28 minus 9 is 19, and that's how you're going to do that one. Okay, guys, remember for this section, you are not going to be able to use that calculator, so you want to do everything by hand. But there's a lot of tricks that you could use for these questions so that you don't actually have to work through the whole thing. Use process of elimination. If one of the answers doesn't make sense, of course, you're going to throw it out, and always choose the best answer for these. It has to make sense. Remember, it has to make sense. All right, guys. Thank you very much and have a nice day.